Really, the essence there is that international negotiation will be necessary because Japan is in a demographic situation where the market is shrinking, the number of consumers is shrinking. So the future for Japanese businesses is overseas. That means that we will have to engage with foreign partners, with foreign business, and create foreign business relations, which means that we actually will need to engage in negotiation. Now, negotiation is something that you can prepare, and awareness is the first step in learning. Therefore, to learn, this course actually is trying to teach you how Europeans prepare for a negotiation, what you can expect when you're negotiating with Europeans. I think that it will be a very valuable lesson. It doesn't mean that you will that you have to adjust yourself 100%, but you need to be prepared and understand what's on their mind, what they are thinking, why they are doing things that they are doing, and what you can expect. So basically, this course will be about negotiation. So. Very, very quickly, basically, if you are looking at to the consumer market, consumers, if you, for example, are selling a car, consumers are not all the same. People are different, and very roughly speaking, when you are engaging with the consumer, you will kind of need to make an assessment. Okay, what is important for this person? Many salesmen, they make the mistake of basically going on and on and on and on about their own car and how wonderful it is and how well it performs, the top speed, the security, the warranty, etc., etc. But you will not have a limitless attention from the consumer, and especially if you do not understand what drives this consumer, what is important to this consumer, then you might very easily lose his or her interest. So what is of vital importance is to make an assessment. Okay, what drives this consumer, and tailor your sales pitch accordingly. So just as an example, basically there are consumers who are very much interested in the latest technology. They feel that they need an electric car because electric cars are the future. They want the latest gadgets on it. They want, for example, not only cruise control, but they want to have software on board where it helps parking, it helps even driving. So that is that there is a group of consumers who are very much into that. Then there is another group of consumers who are not so much interested in the gadgets, but more interested in price, quality. What kind of quality do I get for what price? Cost performance is very important for another group of customers. What kind of mileage do I get? What is the price of the car? What kind of engine do I get? So what kind of value do I get from this car? Other people are more emotional driven. They buy the car because it makes them feel good, that makes them feel big, like people who want to drive a nice sports car. They're not interested in value. They are more interested in what other people feel about them when they drive that car. So they could be more attracted by, okay, so what kind of impression do you give with this car? Who else drives this car? So what kind of group, what kind of peers will you get if you buy this car? So that is a different driver. And then there are people who are very much interested in safety and warranty and reliability. So if you find a consumer that you don't have any idea what drives this person, and you just go on and on and on about the safety, the track record of safety, warranty, reliability, while this person actually wants a car that girls will find very attractive, you will not be able to persuade him. The same is true with negotiation. So there are different negotiators, there are different negotiation styles. So actually you need to tailor your strategy based on your profile, what your assessment of the other side. So how do you prepare for negotiation if you don't know exactly what's on the other side? Now, preparation means everything, so you need to make some kind of assessment. And the European negotiator will always try to actually prepare for all cases. So they need to be prepared to look at every angle of the negotiation, and based on that they will prepare and adjust accordingly based on the feedback that they get. So the negotiation process starts by making an assessment of your team, the other team, and making an educated guess about what drives the other people. That could be based on figuring out where does this person come from, which university did he go from, what is happening in this company, what country does this person come from. Based on that, you can kind of guess and make a pre-assessment of what you can expect during the negotiation. If this delegation is, for example, from the Middle East, you can kind of guess that they will open very aggressive with their the pricing, for example. This is what you can expect. But if it's a different kind of if they come from a different country than let's say Germany, then you can kind of expect that they will create this agenda from A to Z, lay out the plan, try to frame everything, try to control the entire process. Will not be comfortable if you try to throw sand into the wagon. So we need to play along. So
I think Japanese cannot prepare kind of negotiation items, right? Because European people, of course, just like Germany and French is different, right?
Right.
But the country by country different. But Japanese cannot prepare the detailed checklist like European people.
I don't know. Well, I think that.
But this is car sales, but usually it's a business negotiation.
Right. So basically, the car sales is just an example. Okay. So we have different kind of people, different kind of profiles. You need to target. You need to change your strategy based on the other side, right?
And business, like even if how to sell car, is the same. Japanese people cannot consider for detail, category like what you said. They don't thinking about so more clear message for car manufacturer.
What I do find in Japan, actually, this is my observation, that Japan is awesome when it comes to providing service. So they have, but they also their service is provided based on it's almost like an employee manual. So an employee needs to learn how to treat.
Oh, you
a
mean
customer.
the company buyers in the case of company?
In case of company or in case of retail, generally speaking, there is this.
You are talking about not private buyer?
I'm talking about basically if you buy anything anywhere, if you are a consumer, what I find is in stores, for example, people are extremely nice. They are extremely careful. They are very well trained. They know everything about their product, so they can answer almost any question. But they don't listen. They don't listen at all, actually. They just go on and provide the information by without actually trying to understand what drives the customer. So they just follow the manual.
What do you mean not listen?
They don't listen.
Why?
Because actually they have been trained to give this information, to do exactly as was prescribed in the employee manual, I believe. I don't know why else they would do it. But if I ask them, for example, a question that they do not know the answer to, it becomes very awkward because they just want to continue with their own script. For example, when I just came
I don't understand your background. What they're talking about?
So, for example, if I am, as a consumer, I go to an electronics store. I don't speak Japanese that well. So I ask the other side to not use keigo because I'm not familiar with those terms. Impossible.
What's impossible?
Impossible. They will not change their Japanese language to adjust to the level that I can understand it. So they keep having a conversation in keigo, even though I requested significantly. So if you're really truly service-minded, then you would adjust to the customer's request. They don't do that. Never.
Japanese.
Right. They don't make exceptions.
Why don't you make it?
I don't think they're really customer oriented. They're very much eager to just follow a process, follow the instructions, and not make mistakes. If I don't know why, but okay, my assumption is that maybe if this person's superior would catch the employee speaking to a customer without using the proper keigo, he would be scolded or even worse.
The Japanese salesperson, they are not well trained.
I think they are extremely well trained, but they lack the flexibility to actually adjust to what a customer wants. They just follow the manual.
Oh, follow the manual.
So, okay, superior service.
What's different from European people?
We don't read the manual. So we are underinformed. We are not customer oriented, but we kind of try to figure it out together with the customer. So it's terrible. If you go to an electronics store, usually the customer knows more than the person who's working there.
Oh.
The person, if it's 5 o'clock, I mean, immediately he will stop serving because his time's up, and all kinds of things that is terrible for Japanese people. I know quite a few people in the Netherlands who are from Japan. They hate the Dutch service mentality because it actually is not a service mentality at all.
Oh, Japanese is much better.
Much better.
But you said manual oriented.
Very manual oriented. So so omotenashi, to some extent. I really feel that if you're really service
going
oriented.
back to original, you are speaking out. They are not listen. What do you mean?
They don't listen. I mean, they do not adjust their attitude based on customer requests.
Ah, I see. Okay.
So when it comes in terms of, for example, negotiation, a Western delegation will very carefully observe and make an assessment and then adjust its strategy accordingly. I believe that based on what I see in the world around me, I believe that actually in Japan this is underdeveloped. Basically, they decide their strategy and they're just going to deliver it without any consideration what they learn in the process about the other side. This is what they decided, so this is what they're going to deliver. Even if the other side says, well, sorry, I basically I don't want to hear this, I'm more interested to hearing that.
Which is interesting. You said customer service is a big difference between Japan and European people, right?
It's huge, yeah.
And what's the major difference? You said European people, they are not so much customer oriented, right?
No, they're not.
So what is your advantage?
What
is the advantage based on this negotiation skill?
So what is our advantage is that basically we are more tactical. We don't read the manual. We are more looking at, what does this person want? And can I deliver that, yes or no? We have much fewer tools in terms of delivery because we don't know the manual. Basically, we think we know and decide and just,
You guys don't like manual?
We hate it. So if you even if you go, for example, if you're applying for a permit to stay in the Netherlands, it will probably depend a little bit of who you're encountering behind the desk, whether or not you will be able to get a permit, because people are interpreting it themselves.
What do you mean permit?
Like, for example, a residential permit. If you are a foreigner and you want to stay in the Netherlands, depending on who you will meet, and whether there's a good click and this person likes you and says, okay, well, I'm going to do my best for you, you might be able to actually get a permit.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
I'm talking about that people are very much more flexible, and they feel like I will decide, not like I will follow the procedure.
Why are you talking about permit?
As an example.
For what?
As an example to show, okay, what is the difference between Japanese service and European service?
You mean the government service?
Yeah, government service, or it doesn't matter. Even in restaurants, there's a big difference.
You mean the foreigner's permit is in Japan is very difficult to extend?
Yeah, it's
You're
not.
talking about kind of thing?
No, it's just an example. I'm talking about the attitude of the people behind the desk in Japan versus the people behind a desk.
My negotiation, basically, just seller is very kind to customer.
Seller.
Seller is very kind to customer, right?
Right.
And very supportive, right?
Right, but absolutely not. So it's very kind, but not flexible at all.
Oh, okay.
Not flexible at all. They have their own. They have their own spiel. They have their own thing that they do, and that what they can offer, and that's it. They will not. They don't put themselves in the shoes of the customer and think, okay, how can I actually help this person? That's not the objective. They need to deliver the service as instructed. So that kind of flexibility, that kind of...
I tell you, Japanese company major problem is sales effort. They try to service to the customer, over, how can I say, it's too service too much.
Yeah.
Like for person to by person, like some manufacturing company sells to ABC, they try to change their service style of ABC, right? Because American European people never do that. ABC, even if customer different, they try to deliver same service.
Yeah.
But Japanese companies, why they cost much? Because they try to change service level by customer. This is, I think, front-end salesperson is very flexible to react specific customer. But you're talking about Japanese is too much manual oriented.
Yeah.
But this I have some feeling gap. I don't understand precisely what you want to say.
What I want to say is that I feel that...
Do you understand what I mean? Japanese company, sales type, bolt and nuts, and A company, B company, C company. So manufacturing company try to different service to ABC. Because
it's requested, right?
No. Because that's right.
Yeah.
And some company they even if closing time is 5 p.m. but some company, this company is asking for 7, 8, but only specially allow them to get the order from that company.
Right.
And the B company is they have special order instead of standard parts. So this is willingly need to accept this company. So ABC is different attitude they try to handling for those company. This is typical case. That's the reason why Japanese overhead is cost much.
Right. So in Japan, they follow the customer and say, "Hi, yorokonde."
Exactly. This is, I think, a big problem for Japan.
This is different from Europeans. Hi, yorokonde. Yorokonde じゃないよ。めんどくせえ。
Okay, but